to the Writer's Quill. I'm your host, Sylviane, and today we have a very special guest, Diane Sismour. Diane is a screenwriter, producer, writer. She's joining us to talk about The Doll Keeper and her journey, her creative work, and her advocacy. Diane, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm absolutely honored. So I want to ask you, and just start out with, can you share a little bit about your story and what first drew you to this path of writing and creative advocacy?
Oh, goodness, I've been writing for decades. I There's a part of me that can't not write. Like if I don't write, my husband is like, can you create something, please? Because I get a little cranky. But yeah, it's just a part of me. I think a lot of creatives feel that way.
Hmm.
That I think if I stopped writing, there'd be like this hole I'd have to fill with something. Um, but I've been a creative for 50 years. So
Beautiful. What was the first thing that you remember you created that you knew that this was it?
I used to write stories back in high school. Um, and it's it's kind of funny because I found a story that my daughter had written in high school. And I was like, wow, I don't remember writing this, but it was in a very similar voice. So
Yeah.
it was kind of funny. So when I've had my voice since back then, I started writing children's books in the early 90s, and poetry, and worked my way up into short stories, um, which I really enjoy writing. Um, they're they're kind of a caveat all their own.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm also a ghostwriter for people who don't know how to get the words together for their novels or screenplays, either one.
Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of
But
hard for a lot of people is getting the words out and knowing what you want, but being able to put them together. And I've realized that uh, kind of the same way. I have the opposite. Like I can get the words and I can put them into a beautiful cinematic style. But there are so many people out here that are so very talented, have such very great ideas, and they just can't put it on paper. So there's, that's where we come in as the people that we are. So I respect that. I think that's a beautiful thing that you do. And I just want to tell you that your career and everything that you've accomplished is absolutely amazing. So thank you for telling us about that. Um, so when did you decide that you were going to stop doing it and it was going to be you were going to make this a full out career instead of just something that you did because you like doing it?
um, well, I've had several businesses at the same time. Um, I started this production company. This is my seventh startup over my lifetime, and um, about which this started. The production company started a few months back, uh, but I decided in 22 that I was going to give it a shot, just writing full time. I had some ghostwriting projects I was doing, and the odd thing is, both of my parents died that year, so it
Oh,
kind of threw a wrinkle in my creativity, as far as thinking of my own stuff to write. But when I was working on other people's, I had no problem. But fortunately, grief has a way of working its way out and helping to find yourself. And when I did, I decided that I needed to really focus on what was important. And to me, that was my creativity. Um, the so when the doll keeper first hit me, it was quite a few years ago. I was driving up to a job that was about an hour and a half away, and I had a lot of thinking time. However, I saw a lot of Amber Alerts, more than normal, not just for the same person, but for several different girls. And it kind of haunted me because I had two girls at the time, and it just really made me sad that these parents are missing these kids and what the community would be going through. So I looked up uh, some FBI agent contacts and human trafficking contacts and asked them the all out questions of what happens. The FBI get contacted for every missing child, and there's a pattern that they follow. And I found out also that in 2023 there were over 350,000 children that went missing, which to me is a ridiculous amount. In
Yes.
2024, that went up over 100,000. Now, a lot of these kids make it home.
Yeah.
However, out of the ones that didn't last year, there were over 1,000 who were taken to be kept or killed, which still gives me the goosebumps just thinking about it. And that's what fueled my desire to make this into a screenplay and have it produced. Um, I'm a little long in the tooth to wait for Hollywood to find me, so I decided
Right.
to do it myself. And hopefully, with everybody that's been encouraging me, we can get the word out and people will see this.
Yeah.
I really
Absolutely.
feel it's an important film.
It is very much so. And I just want to let you know that I support you 1000%. I actually have a criminal justice and forensic psychology background. I've worked with trafficked um, people. So realistically, I do understand. I've taken those classes. I've heard the stories. It's haunting, to be
Mhm.
honest. It really is. And I think that what you're doing is absolutely amazing. I think bringing light to a subject that doesn't get enough shed on it is something that brings, because light only brings out, darkness only exists if there's no light. So I think that you bringing light to this is absolutely something that's um, 1000% needed. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart as a mom, um, as a as a child that was young once, as a mother, as a sister, just and um, as a peer to peer. Thank you for doing this because it does need to be talked about. It does need to be discussed, and it does need to be brought up, and it needs to be on the people's minds a little more than it is. So,
Yeah, you don't hear anything about it anymore on the news. The news is focused on so many other things.
mhm,
And I mean, not long ago, there were about 20 children found in Florida that were
yeah,
abducted.
yeah,
I mean, that was a blip, a small
yeah,
little blip.
yeah,
Um, so yes, it does need to be spoken about. People need to be aware of the problem. I'm making it aware in a claustrophobic horror dark thriller, but it does bring attention to what the FBI do, how quickly the abductions can happen,
mhm,
um, for various reasons. Also, what happens to the communities when these kids go missing and they're trying to be found.
yeah,
They go from all out attempts to hopeful that something might turn up to losing hope
mhm.
after a time. Um,
Yeah, isn't it 24 hours? After 24 hours, it's pretty much that's just really not a good thing. If you haven't found them in 24 hours, it's pretty much a really, really, really bad
yes,
thing.
they can be across state lines in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
Um, And the good thing is the FBI does communicate across the nation where local police departments or even state troopers don't necessarily share information.
Hmm.
So things can be happening in the next town over, and they're not aware.
Right.
So, but for Amber Alerts, it's a nationwide alert.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. What, let me ask you, every journey has obstacles. What challenges have you faced and how have they shaped your path?
Um, well, I had to learn how to write a script. That was that took a few bumps. Um, but I've been writing for a long time, so story wasn't the problem. It was how little bit of story you really needed in it to create the scene. Um, but I have taken a lot of courses, and I was fortunate to be part of the Story Lab this past June. I met a lot of
That's
amazing writers
amazing.
up there. So I was able to see their screenplays, and they gave me feedback on mine, um, and that to me was just invaluable.
Exactly.
Um,
Immeasurable.
mhm.
Yeah.
but yeah, the biggest bumps in the right now is we found a director. Jason Noto is going to be our director. Our uh, director of photography, Jose Casella,
Hmm.
and I have my LP. I have um, my, let's see, production designer. Everything's like ready to rock and roll. We're waiting on funding. That's the biggie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll
I
be,
was going to say, what's the last stage that you need? And I was going to say, is it funding? That's the
mm-hmm.
one thing that always holds it up, it seems like. But I truly believe that it's going to come because it needs to be told.
Yes,
It's more of, I feel like it more feels like more of a calling from my point of view, looking at in, it looks, instead of you looking out. But to me, it's more like a calling to you because it wasn't something that you were like, okay, well, you read it in the newspaper, you've seen it on the billboards, you've seen it in the big, animatronic things that they always put up on the highways, and it's something that called to your soul to tell, which for me feels like a calling. It's something that you're being called to do. So I believe that there will be, fulfillment there for that because you have that. I just believe that it's just a matter of time.
yeah, there's definitely a drive behind this
Yeah.
project. Um, Passion project for sure. But we are going to make 3 films, so I'm excited about that slate.
Is there three of them in the
Uh,
series? Is it a series of three
yes,
that goes with it? It is. Oh, I only knew about one. And the one I seen
yes.
was the one about the missing person or the missing child one. And I thought, isn't that just amazing? I think I actually messaged on it. I said, okay, I've seen some posters, but this one just goes beyond. It was just so good. It had the QR code. I was like, I was blown away by it. Like that was just great.
Yeah, we did a lot of back and forth. Sophia Judd is just amazing
Hmm.
with her design work. And we started out with it looking like a regular wanted or missing child poster. And I'm like, no, I don't want people to really think they're missing. So
Right.
we uh, put the original poster that I had made um, and put it behind it to give it the atmosphere that I wanted, and then
Hmm.
paired it back. So I think it worked. I think
It's
she did an
it's
amazing job.
amazing. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
absolutely amazing. I mean, truly. When you think about your future for yourself, your work, and the people you hope to impact, what vision do you hold for that?
Well, I'm hoping that like I said before, I'm a little long in the tooth to get started. I'm waiting for to be found, if you will.
Right.
But I think people need to realize that if they have something they really need to tell, that they should do it. It doesn't matter how old they are, just do it. Because a lot of people don't have time when they're raising families and things like that.
Mhm.
But stories are important, and that's what
Yes.
keeps everyone together, community. So, so it's
You're right.
original stories need to be told.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. So that's one of the reasons why I want to start the Legacy Scholarship Fund, so that people, young people, when they're coming out of high school, that want to get into creative writing, creative screenwriting, things like that. Even, movie cinema, they have a scholarship fund that they can do to do that. So I believe that it's invaluable right now. We need that. And you don't know what you're missing if they don't have opportunities. You don't know what somebody could be changing in the world by putting their voice out there and letting their light shine if we don't have them, and they just hide it. I mean, it took me a few years. I'm just going to say a few. It took me a few years to figure out that I wanted to do this. And it just happened by accident because I wanted to start journaling and heal. And it just became its own force and it just became its own life, like it just came to life. I said, I can't go back. Well, I mean, I just can't. Like, I just can't. So I truly understand.
Yep. Now I know that feeling all too well.
Right? So if there's one thing that you'd like the listeners to take away from today, what would it be?
Hmm. Um, be kind to each other, for one. Keep an eye out for each other. A lot of people, they don't even know their neighbors anymore. Um, and they should. They should at least know who's living around them.
Right.
Um, know if there's a single mom whose kids are playing outside,
Mhm.
that kind of thing. I really think, yeah, people need to just be kinder to each other and be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody puts so many expectations on themselves, and it can be um, it can freeze you into inactivity.
Hmm.
I've had that happen even today. And then I'm thinking to myself, why are you not doing this? What is holding you back? And then I dive in when I realize it was something really silly. So it's just a matter of realizing uh, what's holding you back is not nearly the problem. It's usually something other than that, and it's simple to overcome.
Right. No, I completely respect that. And I think that you're right. And I also feel like you and I might have came from a generation that was a little bit more, if somebody's children were playing outside, any child in the
True.
neighborhood's my child, right? Like at
Mhm.
that point, like if that comes down to protecting them, that's my kid too, right? I
Yes.
think that's just how, I mean, and we've fallen away from that. And I feel like that's kind of like that's like structure of society. Like, watch out for each other. That's what it's supposed to be, community, right? So you're
Yes.
1000% right. And taking better care of ourselves is something I feel like we all forget to do because life gets so busy. We put so many expectations on ourselves and others that we don't realize that we're just human beings and we just need to sit down sometimes and just relax and think about us instead of everything else that we need to be doing. Because if there's no us, we can't do all those things and we
Very
have to
true.
take care of ourselves. So I agree with you 1000%. Is there anything that you would like to say before we end this today, Diane?
Um, please look for the doll keeper. Hopefully, coming soon in another year or so. Um, I'll be doing a crowdfunding shortly.
Okay.
So please just look for it and donate as you can. and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Well, thank you. And I will look for that funding and I will help as I can and I will send it out. I will send it wherever I can and I will do whatever I can to help you get this out here. And I appreciate you.
One more,
Yes.
one more thing. So when I have the QR poster,
Hmm.
I have a new one that I'll be putting up. That first one was just to make sure all the ideas were up.
Hmm.
I'd love for people to click on it
Okay.
on the QR so we can show uh, our distributors and financiers how important this film is to be made. Because the more
Okay.
fans who want to see it, the better chance we have of it being made.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that you see interest and they want to see interest. So I will send it out and you send it to me and I'll get you. I'll send it as far and wide as I can.
Wonderful.
I appreciate you. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for you coming on here today with me, for spending time with me today. I hope that your day is productive and you get back to doing whatever it is that you needed to do. You have a beautiful day, a beautiful week. Know that I look up to you and everything that you do. So just thank you so much for being here with me and talking to us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you sharing your time and wisdom, Diane, and your heart with us today. To our listeners, be sure to check out Diane's. Do you have a website?
I do. It's DianeSismour.com. DianeSismour.com.
There you go, DianeSismour.com. And this has been The Writer's Quill. I am Sylviane, reminding you that every story matters, including yours. Until next time.